Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here at the Rawsons in the Rocks in Sydney, and today we're going to be talking about investing in commercial versus investing in residential real estate. A lot of investors that I talk to these days come up to me and say, Avi, residential real estate is not performing as it used to. Is it a good time to invest in commercial real estate? What I say to them is that is a very good thought you're having, but you have a lot of things to consider. What are these things to consider? I'm going to tell you right away. When anyone considers investing in residential real estate, one thinks of a house, an apartment, a townhouse, duplex, granny flats, and so on. Commercial, on the other hand, it's retail, it's commercial suites, it could be a warehouse. It's very different to each other, as you would know. For residential, there's one tenancy act, which governs for all kinds of properties. On the other hand, you've got commercial lease and a retail lease, which are completely different and has different acts that apply to it. So understanding the differences is very important. The way the properties are valuated is also very different. In residential, it's primarily comparables that determine the value of a property. On the other hand, if you look at commercial, it's going to be with a cap rate, which is actually a lot better. It's more specific, to the point, helps the investor make a decision, not only at the moment, but also for the long run as well. Another key factor, which is very important and very distinct from a residential and commercial, that's going to be, which is the lease period. A lease period, or a rent period, or a tenancy period that you would call, in residential is anywhere from 6 months to a year, sometimes even 2 years, but usually about a year or so. On the other hand, commercial is anywhere from 3 years to 5 years, which is good because you know for 3 to 5 years you're going to get consistent rent or income coming through from your commercial investment. It's very difficult to change and chop and alter things in your residential tenancy agreement. A lot easier in your commercial. So for an owner of a commercial premises, understanding the business that is being leased out is very important. Usually if a lease is given to a cafe, for instance, if there's 5 cafes in the area, it's going to affect the business, hence the amount of vacancy rates you might have if that business goes out and you have to find another one, for instance. So knowing the business is very important. Residential is very structured. It's hard to be flexible. Commercial, it's very flexible. Commercial, you can decide if you want to renovate. It all comes down to negotiation with the tenant. The tenant pays for the fixtures, or you do. Valuation would depend on that as well, and what you want to do with it. So before you get into commercial or residential, or move from residential to commercial, you really have to consider all these factors before investing. So if you have any questions in regards to investing in commercial real estate, I'm more than happy to have a chat with you. And if you need me to come down and consult, I'm more than happy. My details at the bottom. Happy investing.